New me, new content, new subs, new viewers, new everything. 2026 is going to be a beautiful year. I'm just going to say it now, manifest it already for everybody. I hope everyone has a great day, has a great year. Comment your New Year's resolutions as well. I want to hear them. Mine is to do better. Okay, right. Here's the point anyways. New video. There's nothing better to get into at the start of 2026 than the things to look forward to this year. F1 next year is going to be... Next year? See, I'm already fucking it up. This year is going to be very exciting. We've got a whole new regulations, a lot of changes, and it leaves us with a lot to anticipate, is the word I'm looking for. A lot to anticipate. And I'm trying to go through the things that I'm personally most looking forward to. And obviously, there's no better way to start off, or more obvious way to start off than the regulations. Well, there's been a massive overhaul of the regulations, and there's a lot of changes to the car that could, ideally, what we're all hoping for is leads to better racing. I'm very intrigued to see if it works the way they say it will. I mean, there's a lot of changes. I'm not like a crazy car person. Like, F1's one thing, but the technicalities of the car I'm not great at. So I'm going to try to explain what there is briefly. Everything. Well, most of it's changed. It's still on four wheels. It still has like a car, you know what I mean? But besides that, the car's been made smaller. You've got new wings with some aero modes, which I think affects the way you, like when you turn. It's about the aerodynamics when you turn and on the straights, like the wings adjust. Maybe I'll put a photo of it or something up just to make life easier. Ideally, that's meant to make less dirty air while overtaking. As well, you've got new hybrid engines, new batteries. They are half fuel, half electric, if I wasn't mistaken. So they're like very, very hybrid. See, this is why I don't talk about cars, because I'm useless when it comes to this sort of stuff. But yeah, like, and I've also taken away DRS and replaced it with these overtake and boost modes, which I guess use the energy from the engine to do pretty much the same thing. Let's see how powerful they are. We're all hoping the cars aren't slower than last year or like too much slower. Because if they come out looking like F2 cars, then let's just watch F2, you know what I mean? But I'm intrigued to see if these cars or all this development has really helped develop racing. Because as we know, dirty air problem's been terrible. It's been hard to overtake around a lot of tracks. And with these changes, you'd think that this whole scenario would get a bit easier. Are we certain? No. But we will find out pretty quickly, I reckon. Okay, next. We have a brand new circuit as well, on to new things. The Madrid is what they call it, which, I mean, it's not an awful name, I guess, but I'm not going to just hate for the sake of hating. New map, street circuit. It's a new map like it's Call of Duty, but it has street circuit. In Spain, we've got a second Spanish race. I think Barcelona is going, interchangeable with Spa? Maybe I've just made that up, but I think that's the case. But this year we've got a new addition to Spain. We've got 2 races in Spain. They've got rid of Imola for this, so I'm wondering if it'd be better than Imola. I tried to look for like footage of it, but I don't think there is. I think they kept it tight-knit. I've just seen like simulations, and it looks quite technical, a lot of bends. My expectations aren't all that high. I reckon it'd be nice for qualifying, definitely. But I'm not too sure how the racing will go around here. I guess we'll see. I think the main goal for this track is to be better than Imola. Like, well, I mean, you could also say that with like Spa and Barcelona, like, because a lot of maps. I keep saying maps like it's, oh, I guess it is. But like a new circle, bro, you can tell what we're calling a week. I'm stumbling all over my words. With this new circuit, what you're hoping for is just to be better than all the tracks that are being taken away, like Imola, Spa, Barcelona. I think they're all in rotation, and then you got Netherlands is getting gone. So hopefully this track at least is a better watch the nose. Then it feels like it has a valid place on the grid or on the calendar. Once again, I don't know what standards to have for it, but hope for the best and expect the worst. That's what I was told. And that's what I think all of you should remember. With new regulations, we get a new team order. And not like team orders like papaya rules, none of that BS. That'll probably come into next year and no one wants to see it. But I'm talking about how each team compares to each other. What team's going to be the best? What team's going to be the worst? Who's going to be the fastest? There's a lot of variables that could affect that. We could, don't get me wrong, we could literally have McLaren dominate again. Potentially, as they have got Mercedes engines. What we've heard is, or so far, it seems like Mercedes have probably got the best engines, which, I mean, are we all that surprised? Probably not. But then what cars have them? Mercedes, McLaren, ain't Alpine going to them? And Williams? Am I right in saying that? I think they've all got Mercedes engines. If it does live up to what they say it is, then they should be faster than everyone else. And, I mean, maybe it can make it for a boring year. But who knows? This is just all rumours until we see it in testing or the first race, realistically. And with that, we could also have potential new front runners. As I just mentioned, Williams were looking good last year and they've been focusing on this year a lot. Maybe they break through this year and start winning races, fighting for championships. It might be a bit optimistic, but you can't write it out. And you can see what teams get it right or wrong. With a big regulation change, there is a lot of room for growth and a lot of room for failure as well. So depending on how all these teams do, we could have a complete reshuffle of team order. We could have back runners higher up and then front runners dropping down. Like, we have Red Bull with a Ford engine, Ferrari, I mean, maybe Ferrari come out the gate swinging, but who knows? Like, I don't think anyone's that hopeful anymore. But yeah, from the start of the season, we're going to see straight away what teams do better, what teams do worse. And don't get me wrong, we've got the whole season to see how it pans out. So some teams might improve throughout, and then some might just stagnate at the beginning. If it's motor dominance, I won't be mad as that, as long as I can tell any Peter Russell. And I think everyone's heard about like how I think Mercedes and Red Bull are like basically borderline illegal in the car, or trying to find loopholes around it. So that's also interesting to see. Just who's gonna try and weasel their way around the regulations to make the car as good as possible. It's a lot of questions to be asked, and there's a lot of answers to be had as soon as we get into the season. And next up, we have another team on the grid. Brand new 11th team in Cadillac. Oh yeah, and Audi too. Almost forgot about Audi. They're sort of not new because obviously they're replacing Sauber, but you get the point. Like a reskin. How will they do? That's the main question. We'll talk about Cadillac here. They've got two experienced drivers in Bottas and Perez. Both great. Both can probably give good help for the team, help them improve as the season goes on, or as years go on, because they seem like they've got pretty decent contracts. Who knows how they're going to start? I don't think anyone expects much from them, as they are a new starting team. They've got Ferrari engines. In that sense, that only shows that they can really be as good as Ferrari is, or a little bit better, but they won't be too far away from them regardless. So yeah, it's low expectations, but a high reward, because if they perform, then they're going to look good, and a lot of people might want to go there. I don't know if there'll be space, depending on how well these two drivers do. Obviously, they're both very skilled drivers, most skilled second drivers there have been. So we're going to have a generational second driver battle to see who's the ultimate second driver. Who knows who's going to win? I think this is going to be a tight teammate battle between these two. I don't know who's going to do better. Maybe I don't know, I'll make videos and predictions, but we'll see. And Audi as well. Obviously, they've just taken over Sauber and made it their own, pretty much. So all the aim is for them is, can they do better than they did last year? They're what? They think they came 9th in constructors. They made steps forward from 2024, but they're obviously still one of the worst teams on the grid. Can they continue to progress and establish a name for themselves? And this to me is the most exciting part, the team driver battles. Obviously, there was a lot of close matchups, let's say, in last year and the grid lineups. And it could really, let's say, change for the better or worse for some drivers next year. Obviously, they've got a whole new car to adapt to. Who knows how each driver, how they adapt to the new driving style, potentially. As you can see here, we've got full grid. Some very close teammates, like Norris and Piastri. Them and Ocon were pretty close last year. Albon and Sainz were close. You would think Bottas and Perez is. And then we've got people who could potentially improve, like the rookies, Antonelli, Bortoletto. Colapinto you'd hope would improve. You've got Hadjar and Red Bull. Who knows how that's going to go. Lindblad now a rookie. There's so many different narratives and storylines going on in each team that who knows how the team inter-team battle could shape up this year. For me personally, the three most exciting ones are both the Red Bull teams and Cadillac. Because obviously you've got Hadjar and a Red Bull. who knows how it's going to go. And we don't know how well Red Bull's going to be anyways. If you're asking me, I don't think they're going to be at the top. I don't know. Maybe Hadjar has a better chance to do better in new regulations and with a car that might not be as powerful. Like, Verstappen, he'll find a way to win a race. So I would never count him out, but it's more about seeing how well Hadjar does in comparison to the previous two teammates like Lawson, Perez, Tsunoda. And speaking of Lawson, I think his career is on the line this year. If Lindblad comes in and outperforms him, that's Lawson out. He needs to really put Lindblad in his place, essentially. This is his deciding year. He needs to lock in. As Hadjar outperformed him last year, yeah, it's do or die for him. And then I've already brought up Cadillac, obviously new team, two very talented drivers, which both have potential to get good results. So I think they will be the closest pairing this year, whether that be with 0 points each or both getting wins each, who knows. You can't rule out other teams like Williams. Let's see if Albon can progress and match Sainz next year, as Sainz looks like he's constantly going upwards. Them and Ocon, maybe Ocon's under a bit of pressure to perform. Got Norris and Piastri. Can Piastri actually get the better of Norris this year with the experience from last year? Or maybe will Norris do his best to defend his title? Will Hamilton improve in Ferrari? Will Antonelli improve and match Russell? Yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. Besides Aston Martin. Aston Martin's the only one that is who cares? We all know Alonso's going to watch Stroll. If Stroll comes back and watches Alonso, he's got to retire. I mean, he might already, but we'll get to that later. Who knows? Next, 2027 moves. Obviously, 2026, we're going to have a whole new reshuffling in the grid order, seeing what teams are the best and worst, and that's surely going to make some drivers want to relocate from their not-so-performing team into a better team, as they all should. As to who's moving, we'll have to figure it out in the first race. Once we see what teams are best and what teams are worst, then I think it'd be easier to pick and move around people. Obviously, if a team like Mercedes is doing the best, there's not really much space to put anyone, as we've already got two strong drivers, and I doubt they want to really get rid of them. Unless it's Verstappen, obviously, then there's a good chance that they will throw anyone out for Verstappen. But other teams are pretty wide open for all the top drivers. Okay, McLaren's locked down, McLaren not moving. Ferrari probably won't move until 2027. Charles might decide to relocate. There's a lot of changes to be made, and it's very intriguing to see how it's going to go. Who will be worth the most? Cars aside, however the drivers perform can severely affect their stock next year. For example, if Russell has a great year, wins a championship, maybe they don't want to get rid of him. Or if he has a stinky year, maybe he's getting booted out. Maybe Gasly has a really good year and then someone wants to take him from Alpine. You never know with these things. A season, you're only as good as your last season, essentially. And who knows how good each driver are going to do. Maybe one will get taken up by a team you'd never expect. It all could be a mess in 2027. So I know I'm looking into the future a lot, but that'd be exciting to see. We also have potential retirements at the end of the season, which I'll get into, and mid-season swaps. If someone like Colapinto gets dropped mid-season, then I wouldn't be surprised. If someone like Lindblad gets dropped, I don't know who does swap Lindblad with, but I wouldn't be surprised. There's a lot of factors that come in play. Let's just see how it all pans out. And speaking of the retirement, I think it's only these two drivers, as they're the old drivers on the grid, Hamilton and Alonso. I think we heard Alonso say if he wanted one more competitive year before he retired. So if the car's shit, maybe he just leaves because he can't be asked. But then maybe he gives it another year. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if both of these drivers stay until 2027. But I think it really depends on how their season plays out. If Hamilton doesn't have a great season again, then I think it's pretty safe to say he's making his way out. But if he starts winning, maybe he'll find a hope to get another season in him. Who knows? If these two leave, let's say, then it's going to open up two new spaces on the grid. Once again, everything can move around, everything can change. I think it really depends how their seasons go. I think the better the seasons go, the less likely they are to retire. Wow, that's all I have. Thanks for watching, guys. If you made it this far, please just comment below what you are looking forward to next season, or what you enjoyed about last season that you want to be brought in. I want to hear all your opinions. Like, comment, subscribe, all that basic YouTube stuff. I still want it, as much as I need to say it. And yeah, let's celebrate New Year in style.